Fill in the blank. This is what I left you with before the break. Fill in the blank. When UNC is playing their best basketball, they are blank. And try to resist the snarky, correct answers of like winning, right? When UNC is playing their best, they are ahead on the scoreboard.
They're scoring more points than their other team.
Correct, but I think you knew that's not what we're looking for. First of all, let's hear the recipe of success from Hubert Davis, their head coach. He said this on Saturday.
For us to be the best that we can be, especially in games like this, you're just going to have to defend, rebound, and take care of the basketball.
Again, correct. I think we're looking for something a bit more specific to UNC. Defend, rebound, score, hustle. Like, you know, I talk about this one all the time because I watch a ton of football. It is very much the color commentator that hasn't done a ton of studying of either team when they say keys to the game are start fast and turnovers for both team. I'm like, oh, you mean every football game in the history of time. I got you.
Oh, take care of the ball. Oh, okay.
You want to not turn it over, you want to force turnovers, and you want to be ahead early so you don't have to scramble. Gotcha.
Nailed it.
Right? Hubert Davis, what was it, defend, rebound, and score?
Defend, rebound, take care of the basketball.
Defend, rebound, take care of the basketball. Oh, you're talking about the Globetrotters, the Lakers, the local high school team, my 7-year-old nephew's team, and also your team, right? It applies to every basketball team ever. I think it's a different answer, but it's a little bit more specific to UNC. My answer is simply when UNC is playing their best, they are getting contributions from everyone in their rotation. Nobody is along for the ride. Some teams have role players who quite literally your role is to not get in the way, right? Some teams have role players and it's like pass it to the best players and try to look busy, right? That's not UNC. Every player has a role that's in their rotation, obviously. Has a role that is part of the multiplication process, right? Every player that adds their little thing, it gets better and better. Cormac Ryan was great at times in the ACC tournament. He was obviously another level of great against Duke in the regular season finale. Didn't bring his normal juice in the ACC championship, and it was noticeably absent. Right? The amount of people that were like double-checking the stat sheet to be like, is he hurt? Did he play? Was he out? Why does he only have 3 attempts? What? He's there shooting. Could he not? Didn't bring his normal juice. Harrison Ingram had 3 rebounds. In a game, again, the ACC championship, when Mo Diarra was grabbing every rebound out there for NC State, what do I say about Harrison Ingram? He is what the game calls of him. All season he's been that. If the other team is hitting threes, he matches them with threes. If the other team has an exceptional perimeter threat, he helps with defense on the perimeter. When the other team, meaning NC State, had a rebounder gobbling them up like it was hungry hippos, I was waiting for Harrison Ingram to go down there and say, this is where I am needed, right? He's like a superhero. Whenever the city calls, whenever the game calls, that's where I'll be.
Bat signal.
Exactly. There was the Harrison Ingram signal shining on the glass. It was shining on the backboard saying, come here and rebound, and he finished the game with 3. Elliot Cadeau did a great job setting everybody up. But what have we been saying about him recently? His finishing package, right? His layup package, the different varied ability that he has to score going to the bucket as an undersized guy has been a difference maker for UNC. Maybe we take his passing for granted, and he had nearly double-digit assists, but 4 points wasn't enough for a guy that's been a spark scoring the basketball for them. R.J. Davis did his thing. By the way, he's an All-American as of today by the Associated Press.
Congrats to him, first team.
Well-earned and obvious. Right, so he's ACC Player of the Year, first-team All-ACC, first-team All-American. He did his thing.
Yeah.
Scored the basketball. Armando Bacot, an honorable mention All-American, 18 and 12. That's a good double-double. You can't complain about that. You can get by if you have unreal performances from their big 3. and I include Harrison Ingram in that, even though he had a down game. You can get by, but they open themselves up to so many different possible winning scenarios if the rest of the group shows up, right? Like they had when UNC was playing their best this year. In the games where they looked their best, it was very much starting with the three main guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying what R.J. Davis does. I just listed his accomplishments. You'd be foolish to downplay what R.J. Davis does. But what I'm saying is when they're playing their best, there's other guys playing off of what R.J. Davis does. Cormac Ryan is using the gravitational pull on Armando Bacot and R.J. Davis to knock down open threes, to take open threes. When they're playing their best, Harrison Ingram is following the bat signal. Where do you need me? Hey, coach, what do you need me to do this time? And it's funny because I actually thought he did that in the semifinal. They played Pitt, and I said before the game, Harrison Ingram, Blake Hinson. There you go. That's what the game is calling for, and he did a phenomenal job.
Held him to single digits, Blake Hinson.
And for one of the top 4 scorers in the ACC.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely great job. So then to go to the ACC championship and you see, again, another kind of obvious need rebounding. Bacot got his 12. Somebody else has to go down there to help him with Mo Diarra. I thought it was going to be Harrison Ingram, and it never really happened. Those are the things that take them from a deserving 1 seed to I might have to write them in Final Four national championship game of my bracket. Those are the things. If you told me Cormac Ryan was going to knock down threes, which he's very capable of, if you told me Harrison Ingram was going to be where he was called, which he's very capable of, and if you told me Elliot Cadeau would have like 3 layups in traffic a game, I'd probably pick him to win the national championship.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing when they're doing their best. Let's hear from R.J. Davis, by the way, who did emphasize that he did want to win the ACC championship.
That was one of our goals going to the season, but we just came up short. But Coach Davis always talks about our response and how we're going to respond when we get knocked down. So going into the March Madness, we're going to have to, prepare, come together as a group, and fix the mistakes that we made tonight.
R.J. Davis, that was on Saturday.
Yep, right after the loss.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Real quick about North Carolina. To me, when I think they're playing their best is when they're turning defense into offense. That's when they're transition, when they're getting up and down the floor and they're playing at an up-tempo. When NC State shot, 54, 55%, limits those opportunities. And we obviously saw the lack of offensive production from some guys, but when they're able to get to the rim quickly in transition, when it's Cadeau or it's R.J. Davis or transition three-point opportunities, that's when they're at their best.
And the two are combined, right? Mm-hmm. Because, like you said, Cadeau in transition, Cormac Ryan pulling up for 3 in transition. Sometimes those are the ways they get the other guys started.
Yeah.
R.J. Davis, he's going to get his in the half court, in transition, out of bounds plays, and whatever it is. Sometimes the other guys, transition buckets they're free bingo squares. Take them, say thank you, jog back on defense.
That's where they make their money.